Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Specter, a scenario for Call of Cthulhu. I will be your keeper. My name is Jared, and with me I have an incredible cast, and I'm so excited to play with my good friend Mary Lou.
Hi.
One of my favorite podcasters in the world, Scott Dorward.
Hello.
And I have Nick and Cupp here from the Ain't Slayed Nobody. How's it going, guys?
So good. So good.
Amazingly well, yeah.
Everybody, we're recording in the morning except for Scott, who, for him, the time is currently 3 a.m. London. But Scott is nocturnal, so that's okay. Today's scenario, it is a classic 1920s scenario, but I hope a little twisted and different. And so what I would like to do is I would like for each of us to introduce our characters. Let's keep it brief. Just say maybe the character's name, occupation, and then if you'd like, you could share one thing from the details on the second sheet. They each have like a location they're connected to, maybe a couple traits that they have. Share one of those things in addition to your name and occupation for your character. Mary Lou, would you start it off?
I would love to. Well, hello there, folks. My name is Desiree Paulin. I'm a lounge singer in New York City. I love to sing. I love to use my voice and my sensuality. But one of my treasured possessions is I possess the diary of a witch who was executed in Salem. The diary contains a number of useful spells, and I've learned one of them, Cloud Memory.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Yes, and I should mention that this is a group of investigators who have been adventuring for a while. I'm letting, in Dungeons and Dragons terms, I'm letting everybody start at 12th level.
Ooh!
So people already have spells and things like that. All right. Scott, would you please tell us a little bit about your character?
Sure. Father McClintock is, I guess, something of a silver fox. He has got steely grey hair and a calm, dignified manner to him. He is the priest of St. Bartholomew's Church in Manhattan, and his treasured possession is, of course, this cold iron cross that occasionally he smites things with.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. Okay, perfect. And Nick, tell us about your character.
Of course, Dorothy Larsen. I am a writer and philosopher. I was born in Germany, but my father moved us to the United States when I was a teenager, so that he could study in New York as well. My favorite place in the world is a cabin in the Adirondacks, where I actually wrote my book, The Mind-Body Enigma. I am an avid follower of Schopenhauer, and it has been such an exciting time to be with these other investigators and really pursuing the truth of the world that is unseen to most people.
Amazing. I love how Dorothy sounds already. Okay, and finally, Cupp, tell us about your character.
Yeah, Lincoln Reeve is a towering brute with a horribly scarred face from the many adventures that he's been on with this party. I like the idea of sharing our treasured possessions. So I have a championship ring from playing football for the Miskatonic University Squids.
Wow.
Go Squids!
That's right.
Go Squids!
So those are our characters. They formed a group of investigators who have been on several adventures at this point, and there was another member of the group whom we will learn about shortly. In fact, why don't we get into that right now? Okay, Lincoln Reeve, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer. In your last adventure, your group of investigators saved the world from a supernatural threat. What was that threat?
Ooh. I think the threat was similar to the Nothing in Neverending Story. It was just like this rolling darkness that was consuming the world.
Incredible. So it erased places and people like the nothing in the never-ending story.
Exactly.
Ooh, and did it manifest similar to that film? By the way, if you haven't seen the never-ending story, it is must-see viewing if you're going to play Call of Cthulhu.
Are we going to sing the song?
The never-ending story. No, I think that's really cool to just pick something out of a film that is really kind of scary and evocative. So in the movie, it sort of manifests as kind of a storm that rolls through as well. Would you say that this was like that as well?
Yeah, I think so. And it was you're going to make me say wolf right off the bat, but it also manifested as a creature, right? It was like a wolf that was kind of carrying the nothing with it across the land. I'm sorry, Scott's wincing.
Okay, well, so you're gonna just take everything from the movie.
Yes, this is the never-ending story. This is the scenario.
Cupp really just wanted to play the never-ending story, the role-playing game, but
Falcor is my treasured possession.
Okay, so the supernatural threat was a storm that seemed to erase places and people from existence, and it did have an avatar or a solid creature form that it could take. That's great. That's fantastic. Okay. Now, Father McClintock, here's your question. You had a friend, part of your investigating group, named Wilhelm Vogler, paranormal psychologist. And Wilhelm did something heroic during that last adventure. What did he do?
He took the darkness, the nothingness within himself. He found a spell to contain it, but it needed someone to sacrifice themselves in order to become the nothing.
Right. Okay. Excellent. So Wilhelm Vogler used some sort of spell to sort of consume or offer himself up as a vessel to this nothingness. And in doing so, it sounds like it destroyed him. And that's actually what my next question was. The question was originally, Desiree Palmer, you watched Wilhelm die. How did he die? Well, I think we kind of know how
Can
he
I add
died.
something?
Well, add as much as you'd like. Give me the details. You watched him die. What did it look like? Yeah.
So I think he found a spell to contain the nothing, right? Become the vessel for it in his body. But maybe he thought that would destroy it, but it just made him more powerful, right? Made him into the nothing. But since he had a corporeal body, we could kill him. And I killed him.
I love it. Okay.
If I watched him die, I think I killed his body, which then killed the nothing that was, bonded to his soul.
All right. And I'm going to just change one thing. Instead of calling it the nothing, let's call it the void. So it's not totally the never-ending story. Dorothy Larsen, you were the closest with Wilhelm Vogler. What is something about him that most people didn't know? You two had the best conversations. You had long philosophical conversations deep into the night. He was someone who was more of an expert on esoteric matters, the occult. You are a little bit more traditional humanities and philosophy. But what is something about him that nobody else knew, maybe?
I think that nobody knew that he was a hopeless romantic. And the way that came to Dorothy's attention was that he was in love with her, and she was not able to reciprocate, but she was grateful for his friendship and his general affection, and was fully not expecting that when she had been claimed by the void, that he would sacrifice himself to rescue her and bring her back to this world.
Love that.
Okay, great. So she had been sort of trapped in the void, or she had been kind of consumed by it herself, and then he offered himself up to take her place. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that was your last adventure together.
Wow.
And more details may come to the fore as we explore this scenario, but that is what happened last time. It happened a year ago in 1928. It is now March of 1929, and your group have gathered together to remember your departed friend, the hero, Wilhelm Vogler. So, where have you gathered? Each of you, I think, has a significant place that might be appropriate, or you might think of another thing that's not on your sheet. Where do you think you've all gotten together to kind of remember your friend and give a memorial to him?
I'd suggest the spot where he died.
Yeah, where do you think that was, Father McClintock?
Let's make it somewhere completely inappropriate, like just in the middle of Manhattan, like on the intersection of 5th and 42nd Street.
Very good. The intersection of 5th and 42nd Street, as the void was trying to consume the city of Manhattan. This is where your group made their last stand and triumphed. This is pretty public. So how are you doing it? Are you telling stories? Are you conducting some sort of seance? Are you, having a full memorial service with candles and prayers? What are you doing?
Well, first of all, in full defiance of any blue laws that may exist at this time, we have brought his favorite single malt scotch, just a bottle of it, and we are sharing that amongst ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And
Very
if any cops try and come up to us, I cloud their memory and make them forget that they saw the booze.
Oh, excellent. That's a totally appropriate use of magical power in Call of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and lose the sanity that it costs.
No!
Cloud.
No!
Amazing.
No, okay. No cops have come up yet, but just keep in mind, magic does have a price in this world, and if you'd like to pay it a lot and go crazy, I'm 100% behind that.
All right,
Okay.
There's probably some wet cement too, and Lincoln has put Wilhelm's initials into it.
It's March 15th, 1929, and let's say it's a nice warm day, enough so that some workmen have gone ahead and put in some new wet cement. It's a coincidence that you arrive here after this new wet cement has been put in, and you're all sharing some scotch. And what are you saying to one another?
He sure was a hero.
That he was. I know it's probably the last thing Wilhelm would have wanted. But would you object terribly if I led us all in prayer? Just to... it's what I personally consider would be an appropriate manner.
Well, he's not here to refuse, so...
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, do it.
Despite his objections to religion, I think that he would appreciate the sentiment.
I think the sentiment in this case probably counts for everything.
Mm.
And so Father McClintock leads you in prayer. Is everybody head down, eyes closed, observing the prayer respectfully?
Desiree is smoking but listening.
And Lincoln's going to grab Desiree's non-smoking hand and hold her hand while they pray.
Yes, because Desiree and Lincoln are in a relationship.
We're lovers.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, Desiree, because you are not 100% like eyes closed, head down, give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. 50.
Under your spot hidden skill of?
Dang. 45. Spend 5 luck.
You're going to spend 5 luck, and you are going to be the first one to see someone all in white. And it being 1929, they're probably wearing a white fedora and a white coat and a white suit. And they are walking slowly, and they're standing out from the crowd of pedestrians here in the middle of Manhattan because of what they're wearing. And they are slowly walking toward you. and everybody else is listening to Father McClintock pray, and their eyes are closed. And Desiree, you're the first one to see that the person walking toward you is Wilhelm Vogler. Please roll sanity.
Yeah. I would definitely have to roll sanity then, wouldn't I? 83.
83 is higher than your sanity score, which is what?
65.
65. So that's higher. So I'm going to roll.
My sanity's pretty low already.
I'm going to roll some sanity loss for you right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Your roll was kind. You lose 1 sanity.
Ooh.
Plus 1, so 2 altogether.
Okay.
Well, would you look at that? As I live and breathe.
Wow, you're very cool and calm and collected.
She's an actress, okay? She's used to having turmoil underneath the surface, but on the surface, she's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. As this apparition, this vision of Wilhelm walks toward you, it steps into bright sunlight for a moment, and it is gone. But then, in the shadow, past the shaft of sunlight, it suddenly appears again, still walking toward you. So it feels as if Wilhelm is not completely visible or solid.
Wait, did you say he disappeared in the darkness or disappeared in the light?
In the light, when the sunlight was shining on him, you couldn't see him for a moment. But then once he stepped back into the shadow of a skyscraper, he was visible again. And soon he has entered the circle of the 4 of you, and your companions are still praying. But would everybody please make a power roll except for Desiree?
Lincoln failed.
Those are some terrible rolls.
Yes.
Dorothy failed.
I had, what did I have? 77 over 50.
Okay, so everybody failed. So Desiree, so nobody has noticed that Wilhelm is literally standing in the prayer circle here. And then Lincoln, you're the one holding the malt scotch. Suddenly your hand becomes incredibly cold as the bottle is sort of pulled from your hand.
Ooh. That's going to startle him. I think he is going to open his eyes at this point.
You are looking at your friend Wilhelm Vogler. His face is in shadow under his fedora, but his hand is shaking as he is lifting the bottle of malt scotch and trying to move it to his lips. Make a sanity roll.
Oh, boy.
Wonderful. Oh, I did pass. I have a hard success.
Then you take 1 sanity loss.
Okay.
If Desiree or Lincoln say something, the others could be made aware of this, or perhaps Desiree and Lincoln are struck speechless.
I think I'm speechless. I killed him, right? So if he's coming back to his funeral, she thinks it's for revenge.
On one point, I think I stepped backwards into the wet cement, and they're just going to hear me go, "Oh shit!"
Make a dexterity roll.
Oh no! Oh, I did get a hard success on that.
You get a hard success. So yeah, you just step back into it, and your footprint smears the initials that you scrawled into it. And you see before you Wilhelm Vogler, a short man, always pasty in life, now deathly pale, with large, very expressive eyes that always look a little bit sad. And under the hat, dark black hair that always is kind of pasted to his forehead. And you watch as his hand shudders and shakes as he tries to lift the bottle to his mouth, but then the bottle seems to go through his hand and fall to the ground, and a bottle of scotch shatters onto the sidewalk here in the middle of Manhattan at 42nd Street. And that definitely awakens Dorothy and Father McClintock to what's going on.
I shall make that sand roll then.
Same.
Yeah. You open your eyes and you see Wilhelm Vogler standing there. Please make your sanity rolls.
Dorothy.
08, so
Oh, goodness.
Ooh.
Nice work.
I'm oddly okay with this.
You only lose one sanity. Well, I don't know, Father McClintock. Maybe to you it's a miracle. Who knows? You decide what his beliefs are exactly like. But and Dorothy, how did you do?
Dorothy failed. 65 over 40.
Okay, Dorothy.
40.
Yes, Dorothy has a low sanity, and we may find out
Wow,
why.
I thought mine was bad.
We may find out why, or we may not. Dorothy, I rolled your sanity loss, and it as well was a kind roll. You lose 2 sanity altogether.
All right.
And so you are all staring at Wilhelm Vogler, and you're in the shadow of a skyscraper, and he seems so clear. I don't mean translucent, but I mean like so sharply in focus and so solid in front of you. And his eyes move from Desiree to Father McClintock to Dorothy and to Lincoln, and he slightly smiles.
Wilhelm, how can this be?
Miss Larsen, let's be careful here. The forces of darkness sometimes use cunning means to catch us off guard. I don't think we can trust what we're seeing here.
Wilhelm says, "Do not fear, Father. I come to you now at the turning of the tide." And he sort of raises his hands.
Are we talking to Willie? Our Willie? Or are we talking to the void?
You are talking to your friend, Wilhelm Vogler. My body died, and yet my soul survives.
Well, if that's true, then tell us something that only Willie would know. If you were truly consumed by the void, then that would have all been erased.
Something that only I would know?
That's right.
But that we would also know, so that we can verify. The point would be that we would also know this thing.
Ah, yes, thank you, Professor.
I asked Dorothy to marry me at one point, and she said no. I never told the rest of you, but Dorothy can confirm that this is true.
Dorothy.
Wow.
That is true and embarrassing to have come out in this particular instance.
In fact, speaking of embarrassing, there are pedestrians and people walking along, and they're watching all of you sort of talk to an empty space in front of you.
Sure.
It's New York.
What have you've never seen street theater before? Keep it moving. We're having rehearsal. Keep walking.
Listen to me. I haven't much time. I wanted you to know I am still with you. My researches. I was able to untether my soul from my body right before my body was destroyed. I walk in a place of shadow, but I am safe. We can still be together. Our team survives whole. We can help the world. I can go anywhere, completely unseen. I can walk through walls. I can appear to anyone that I choose at any moment and then disappear again in the next.
Wilhelm, it has been a year since we've seen you. Where have you been? Why now?
I have been walking in shadow. It took some time for me to master my newfound abilities, to find my way back to this world. But now I can cross over at will. I can make people see me. Think of what we can do with this power. We can really make a difference.
Well, Wilhelm, I love your ambition, buddy, but you've got to admit it's a little much for us right now.
Much.
Indeed.
What are you talking about? We always said that. Once we had dealt with the supernatural threat, that we would use our intellect to help the world.
Well, of course, that's still the goal, but
What have you done since I've been gone?
I'm not in charge of intellect, so.
well, we've been working, we've been mourning, we've been gathering strength.
Think about it. Think about what we can do.
Of course, Willie, old pal.
Watch this. Watch this.
No.
And
boy.
he kind of like disappears. He's just gone. And then suddenly, here now, what's happening over here? A policeman approaches and he points at the broken bottle of scotch on the ground.
Oh, officer, thank God you're here. We saw a ruffian, a rapscallion, traipsing about with a bottle of scotch, and then he threw it at the ground and he ran away.
Give me a fast talk roll.
You bet. You
And he
bet I will.
ran away.
He ran away. Oh, I rolled a hard success. No, an extreme success.
Ooh.
Because I rolled a 10 and my extreme is 12.
Excellent. Well, let me clean this up for you, ma'am, and I'm sorry you had to witness that.
Oh, thank you, officer. Thank you so kindly. We just love our boys in blue, don't we? Don't we, folks?
McGinty. McGinty's the name.
Officer McGinty, thank you.
Halloran McGinty. Well, thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. I'm going to go find that ruffian.
He went that way.
And the cop is pushing glass kind of over onto the curb when suddenly the cop straightens up and looks at you and goes, see?
Willie.
You mustn't. You must exit this man's body.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to show you what we can do now together.
Do me.
Oh, Lincoln, darling.
Okay. And suddenly the cop like stumbles and kind of falls off the curb for a second and goes, what?
Oh, it was probably the scotch fumes, darling. You just got a little drunk for a second there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go see if I can find that derelict. He stumbles off, and Lincoln Reeve, please make a power roll.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Hard success. Which may or may not be good. I'm not sure.
What is your hard success? What is it?
15 over 50.
Okay. You feel for a second, you feel very strange. You feel for a moment sort of disconnected from your body, like you when a foot or a limb falls asleep, right? Your whole body feels like that for a moment, and Lincoln's lips, the rest of you see, move wordlessly for a moment, like they're trying to form a word, and then Lincoln is suddenly, you're back to yourself.
Mr. Reeve, please do not attempt that again. Do not let this spirit enter you until we are absolutely certain that this is our late friend. We have all encountered dark forces before, sinister forces that use the most clever and subtle magics to bend others to their will. This may be our late friend, everything may be as it appears, or this could be something terrible. And until we are absolutely certain, we should be on our guard. If you are our friend, Mr. Vogler, then I apologize. But if you indeed are Mr. Vogler, you will understand why we are so cautious.
He walks up. Vogler walks up from behind you again and says, yes, like right behind Father McClintock's shoulder.
But perhaps
Yes,
we should.
it is wise to be cautious. It is wise. Yes. Yeah. The father speaks true. Something could be taking my form. Yes.
But he passed the Dorothy test. I mean, that's enough for me, right? Dorothy confirmed the marriage thing?
Again, Miss Larsen, you must remember that we have encountered creatures that can enter our minds, that can use magic to read our very thoughts. The fact that you knew this proves nothing. It could simply be some sinister force had plucked that piece of information from your mind.
But I cannot deny this. Perhaps we should retire somewhere that we can begin the process of confirming or denying this. As much as my heart wants to believe that this is you, Wilhelm, it's so good to see you, to hear the dulcet tones of your voice again. We should not stand here and continue to trouble police officers and the like.
Wilhelm says, I'll tell you what.
Wilhelm?
Willie.
Being called back. Other voices.
Being called by whom?
But I don't. And then he's
Wilhelm?
Wilhelm.
Do you think I broke him?
It could
No,
only
darling.
be this.
Let's get off the street. Let's go to the Sapphire Club, my swanky speakeasy in Manhattan where I sing. We can meet there in secret.
Great. Yes, in fact, the Sapphire Club is a legal speakeasy with people that keep it very secret. So the advantage of the Sapphire Club is if for any reason you were having trouble with the authorities or wanting to lay low, the Sapphire Club would be the perfect place to go. And you are given total secrecy there to discuss whatever you want without anybody listening in.
May I perhaps suggest instead, I know you do not all share my faith, but that we seek refuge at St. Bartholomew's, where at least I may feel comforted that this is an evil spirit. We are protected by the sanctified ground.
We've already done so much religion today, Father.
And we were praying for him when he came, so he's clearly not afraid of your God. But
Very
if it makes
well,
you
but
feel better.
No. If he returns, if we feel uneasy, then we shall seek sanctuary at the church. But yes, let us go to your speakeasy.
And I would like to bring up again, I know that you are probably tired of hearing this, but it probably would be, for this exact reason, a good idea to, consecrate your dressing room, Ms. Palmer, Just for exactly
Consecrate?
this. Yes.
Oh,
to
well,
bless. Father, perhaps
all
this
right.
time you would be willing to do it.
Go ahead. I don't care anymore.
I suppose the Lord does move in mysterious ways. Yes.
Okay. So what have we decided? We're going to consecrate
Yeah, let's go
dressing
to
room?
Bless the
in
shit
the
out of it.
Sapphire Club, and we're gonna bless it so that it's consecrated and we can speak in private.
Okay. You are in the Sapphire Club. It is still before the hours when the Sapphire Club really gets bumping. And so you are in Desiree's dressing room, and Father McClintock can do the necessary oblations to sanctify the area.
I'm not sure I've ever sanctified anywhere with a feather boa draped over a door handle before, but here we are.
Father, you have your raiment of office, and I have mine. Well, folks, I consider myself, a pretty cool cat, but right now I'm feeling thoroughly rattled. What was that? How do we find out more? Who was calling him back? He said other voices, walking in shadow in the place of shadow. He comes to us at the turning of the tides. I don't know. That sure did seem like Willie, but in another way, it didn't.
My fear is that even if this is our dear lost friend, then that last exchange with him does seem to indicate that he is not his own master. We must deal with the very real possibility that there is a sinister force pulling his strings.
At the very least, there is something happening. He appeared to us, or something appeared to us, and so a turning of the tide, sinister forces, this sounds like something that we will need to address one way or the other, regardless of if this is Wilhelm or not.
Oh, indeed, yes. We must absolutely deal with this situation. I'm not advocating fleeing from it. I am merely advocating caution.
Look, I know my solution's always a road trip, but do you think it's a good idea that we go to Miskatonic University, we talk to Dr. Morgan, and then if Wilhelm can really transport himself wherever he wants, he might show up there, and that's pretty cool, right? I mean...
Well, darling, I know you weren't the kind for book smarts, but I agree with you. I think this takes some research. This place in the shadows, this white ghostly apparition. Maybe if there really is this place, he said his research. He finally achieved his research. Maybe we can find out more.
Dorothy, do you know anything about this from your research?
Your book, something about the body and the mind. Shouldn't this be right up your alley?
The mind-body enigma. It is, it is something that I consulted with Wilhelm about. I'm
gonna read it any day now, sweetheart. I mean it.
It would be such an honor if you did. But I am absolutely willing to go to any place that anyone thinks is necessary. But I wonder, in addition to many fine museums, New York City also boasts a wonderful library. We could look here as well.
Yes, and if you'd like, anybody who'd like to can make an idea roll.
Cupp, I'm going to keep you away from... You're not getting it.
Did anyone win a football championship at that library? I mean, do you have any cachet there?
I can't wait to find out who Dr. Morgan is.
I passed an intelligence roll.
Oh, I failed terribly.
I also failed.
Oh, wow.
I rolled a success, 1 point over a hard success. But I rolled a success.
But you rolled a success. Okay, very good. It occurs to you that our friend had his own researches, his own,
That's right.
records and researches, and there might be something in that.
He did say that he completed his research in the split second before his body was destroyed. Well,
he didn't exactly say that, but go ahead.
He said something to that extent. Perhaps we can look into his notes and his study.
You'd most likely find those in his townhouse in Greenwich Village.
Okay.
Yep. That's kind of a road trip too. I'm up for that. Yeah.
It's a road trip of about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Would you like to go on a road trip, darling?
I promise it'll feel longer. Yeah, we saw the picnic basket.
Let's go take a trip down to Greenwich.
Yeah, I don't feel safe here anyway. I think there's been too much sin here in the dressing room to consecrate it, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Talking about
Are you speaking from? Is this something that you have a personal experience with? This?
Oh, we'd never kiss and tell, except that I would anytime.
Yes, you have many times.
Yes, I have. It's true. It's so much fun to tell.
But some secrets, Miss Palmer, should be respected.
Of course, Father. Of course.
Very good. So you're going to the townhouse right now? Is that where you're headed?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're headed.
Okay, very good.
In my Model T.
Yeah, if you'd like, you may take Lincoln's Model T. Parking in Manhattan was much easier in 1929.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just sort of stopped.
Yeah, just in the middle of the street.
Yeah, exactly.
People just sort of drove around you.
So you hop into the Model T and down the streets to his address in Greenwich Village, and he has a beautiful townhouse with a beautiful circular window in the top with a sort of a interesting occult sigil of like a star with an eye in it, sort of in stained glass in this circular window. And entering in, you find, Wilhelm was not without money. So it's very lush furnishings in here, but all covered in dust because for a year it has been abandoned. Apparently it is owned, according to the will, by relatives in Germany who have chosen not to liquidate it at this point. But you all have keys. Perhaps one of you, perhaps Dorothy was appointed the caretaker for now. And so you're able to go inside, and on the second floor, you would find Wilhelm's office and his library.
I think Dorothy would probably be familiar with where he kept notes that he was for anything that he was working on, maybe in his desk, and I think that she would probably make a beeline for that.
Very good. You may go ahead and you head to his desk, and you're digging through things, and you're finding bills and receipts for various rare books that he had purchased. And you're kind of looking at his library, and it's enormous. It's enormous, and there are so many occult volumes here. It kind of boggles the mind. If you want to find something of use, you're going to have to make a library use roll, and it's going to take hours.
I think that Dorothy's going to sit there and kind of sort through it all, and I'll make a library use roll. I did roll a natural 1.
Oh, wow. 3 minutes later.
She's
thorough. She's extremely thorough.
Dorothy decides to not start at the shelves. She thinks that anything that Wilhelm found important, he wouldn't have just put on his shelf somewhere. And Dorothy, with your natural 1, you actually leave the office and you go to Wilhelm's bedroom. And in a box under his bed, you find a book. And this book is entitled The Black Tablets of Anubis.
I never mentioned this before.
And it is, although the inscription on the front, there's like kind of like a label that's been put on it in English to let people know what it is. Inside it is in Latin.
I think she finds this, she'll go back to the others. Does anyone speak Latin? Father, this is a part of your whole thing, yes?
Yes, of course. I think it is more of a calling than a whole thing, but yes.
Yes, your calling, yes.
Yes, let me take a look. May I suggest that while I peruse this volume, it occurs to me that if Mr. Vogler was practicing any of these techniques, then he probably requires some kind of ritual space for his practices. It may be worth searching the house and seeing whether there is such a space.
Wilhelm did not keep his important things on the bookshelf, but perhaps there is there's something. I will go look. I think I shall go back up to the library.
Okay. So I think Father McClintock is recommending that you find the space in which he would practice his magic or conduct rituals. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you kind of searching the house for a space like that? Okay.
Dorothy definitely would be, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Lincoln.
I was just going to say, I would look at Desiree and say, you want to go check out the cellar then with me?
Someplace dark and private? Sure.
All right.
My favorite.
And he always walks on the side of Desiree where she can't see his face. He's very self-conscious.
Oh. How has your relation changed since Lincoln's face has become horribly scarred and mutilated, rendering him merely average?
It's been kind of touch and go. I think that the intimacy's taken a hit, certainly since the event.
And is this mostly due to Desiree's aversion or Lincoln's insecurity?
Out of character? Probably the insecurity. Yeah. He's shying away.
I think Desiree's probably likes a scarred masculine man, but I think what she was probably most attracted to was his confidence, right? And how he's a star and a hero, and that's really taken a hit. And so maybe it's not the scars, but what the scars have done to the scars in his heart.
Amazing.
Desiree likes a project.
You may make your spot hidden roll, Dorothy.
I will spend a point of luck to make that a success.
Okay. So searching around, you do not find a ritual space here in the office or on the upper floor. What you do find are several photos of you, letters that you wrote to him, completely platonic, of course. Even notes like, I've gone out, I'll be back in an hour, that, he what maybe have found or that your doorman gave him. Like, he had saved all of those things.
Wilhelm.
You find the cellar, and it is locked, but Dorothy has the keys.
Yeah, Lincoln would have run upstairs to get the keys off of Dorothy.
Found her sitting at his desk, just kind of like crying.
No acknowledgement of that. Just, do you have the keys to the cellar?
Yes, of course. She'll get up and follow you down.
You unlock the cellar door, and there are steps leading down into the darkness.
Link, you go first. You're so big and strong.
Oh, yeah. No, it smells good down here. He'll stride down the stairs.
Is there light? Is there any light?
Yeah, there's a lamp you can click on. One of those with the little chain.
Yeah.
It feels better in the darkness.
Sweetheart, don't be silly, and I'm going to click the light on.
You are immediately rewarded for your search because he has, in fact, converted this cellar into a ritual space. And you realize that you are standing in the center of a complex sigil that has been scrawled on the ground in chalk with numerous occult symbols that look to be, to your very untrained eye, Desiree and Lincoln, Egyptian in character, in appearance. And in the center of this circle is a jar with something in it.
Oh. Well, it seemed that Willie had gotten up to something that we didn't know about.
Yeah, he's shaking the jar.
Wait,
Lincoln, sweetheart.
The jar and what I can only describe as like detritus or schmutz is a terrible word, but the most appropriate word kind of falls out of it. These crumbs and some of it is definitely hair.
Oh.
Does it look like Wilhelm's hair?
Well, Dorothy, are you going to join them? That's fine. Have you joined them down the stairs now?
I think I would have called up to Father McClintock, and then I would have head down. And actually, I think that the markings on the floor in chalk would have caught her attention first.
Okay. If you like, you may make an occult roll to see if you can find out anything about these markings.
I did fail. I think I would like to push this. Let's see. I think that she might start, if she recognizes anything, she might start like verbalizing, like the stuff that she's seeing as a way of kind of just like trying to cement it in her mind or like get the whole picture.
Okay.
Feel about that?
Yes. So when you push, if you fail, something bad happens. We understand that, right? And it also is going to mean that a lot of time is taken right now. So hours are spent down here. Okay.
Is that okay with everyone else?
That's okay with me.
Oh yeah.
go ahead and make that roll again.
All right, we want this under 50. And I rolled a 6.
Ooh.
Hey.
Nicely done. Okay.
Yeah, so that's an extreme success.
So that success is enough for you to recognize with your limited occult knowledge. You're not as much of a illuminated master as Wilhelm was. This is some sort of binding circle. It's and you would know more if you knew the actual tome that the spell or ritual came out of. But it is these sigils and this sort of design are intended to create a connection, binding something to something else.
Mr. Reeve, I wonder if you might put the jar down for a moment?
He does, but all the contents are on the floor now.
Oh, that's okay. It seems as though Wilhelm was trying to bind something.
But like he bound to the void? But he wasn't in the circle when he did that.
It's
right?
true. I am not sure what is happening. I must find a book.
In fact, Father McClintock has already found one.
I've never said that sentence in my whole life.
Father McClintock, would you please give me a Latin roll?
I'd love to. I'm unfortunately not that good at it, but I will
okay.
try. I am definitely not 79% good at it. So, I obviously, again, I'm going to try to find some way of pushing this because why wouldn't you? And
because we already had to take extra time down in the cellar, and because Father McClintock is now going to take extra time, and then also something bad will happen if he fails. I'm going to say that by the time you finish this next roll, you all will have been up into the wee hours of the morning, and you will be quite fatigued. Is that agreeable to everybody? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, Father McClintock, hours are passing as you try to decipher the tome, and now if you roll and you fail, something bad is going to happen.
Yeah, I think I'm pushing this as well by annotating the book, by just making marginalia and my own little corrections to it. So we'll see what that takes us.
Perfect. Yes, that needs to happen. Go ahead.
Oh, and 34 under 40. I actually passed.
Is excellently done. Okay. So it takes you into the wee hours of the morning to where you're almost falling asleep, but your mind keeps gnawing away at the mystery here. And what you think that you realize is that the book, it is a sort of secret or heretical instructions for funerary rites from ancient Egypt, but not belonging to the canonical, Egyptian religion of gods, but a heretical sect. And it details preparations that can be made so that a soul can remain tied to earth after death. The part that you find interesting, right before you completely collapse from exhaustion, is that a spirit must be tied to earth by a fetter, an anchor that allows them to visit the earthly realm.
Well, I think by the time I've discovered that, in my semi-conscious state, I'll wander through the house and try to find the others and share my discoveries with them. As illuminating as all this is right now, I fear, I don't know about the rest of you, I am getting a little too tired to go on. May I suggest that we retire to our various homes and continue this at some point when we're fresher, because this strikes me as being the kind of work where a mistake might prove costly.
But if time is of the essence, I mean, there are beds here. We could just, there are sofas. We could stay here.
That is convenient, but considering some of the practices that may have been conducted here and the risks involved, I suggest that we don't fall asleep in this place.
Okay.
Fine with me.
This place is dusty and creepy anyway.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
good.
allergic to dust.
So you may all retire to your various apartments and places of refuge. Desiree and Lincoln, do you guys currently cohabitate?
I think there's always, we usually do, but I think sometimes there's just a question of, should I go to my place or yours? I think right now he's feeling particularly self-conscious, so he's going to assume they're going separate ways. They're so sleepy anyway, right?
Right. Desiree always keeps her own flat. Even if she was married, she'd keep her own flat. But,
Great.
He'll gossip a little bit about Dorothy and Wilhelm, I think, during the walk to their various places.
Sure, yeah.
Can you believe that Dorothy broke his heart? I mean, it's a shame they don't have true love like you and me, right?
Like we do, of course, darling.
Yeah.
Well,
always.
lightning can't strike twice, can it?
Meanwhile, Dorothy has collected all of the memorabilia, the letters, the notes that she found at Wilhelm's house. She's taken them with her back to her place where she will cry herself to sleep reading them.
Very good. And Father McClintock, back to your small and humble quarters near St. Bartholomew's?
Yes, but I'll go via the church, simply because I want to spend a few minutes there praying for Wilhelm's soul.
Give me a power roll when you are praying.
Ooh. Is this the kind of thing where apparently yes, there is an aura of good around this place that aids in roles to fight off, exercise, or ward against evil entities? Is this the kind of thing that would apply to?
I think that it would.
Okay, so I'm rolling with a bonus die then. Am I?
Yes, that sounds right. That sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh,
good roll.
Then that's a 0-7, so that's extreme.
That's extreme. Father McClintock, it's only when you step into St. Bartholomew's and intone a prayer that suddenly you feel like a burden is lifted from you and the air in here is clean. It's clear. And make an idea roll.
That's an ordinary success.
You realize that really the relief that you feel is you no longer feel like you're being watched.
Oh. Yes.
Very good. So, my other investigators, as you sleep, could everybody please make a POW roll for me?
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I rolled a natural 100.
Okay. All right.
So
Lincoln, what did you roll?
I have a regular success.
And Dorothy, how'd you do?
A fail.
You fail as well. Desiree, you are awakened by the sound of a baby crying.
Oh, what's that?
You look around and you are in a very, very small space. With a dirty wooden floor and a couple of pieces of cheap wooden furniture, and almost inside of a little kitchen is a cheap bassinet, and there's a.
I'm going to take the baby. Yeah, and I'm going to try and... Because she's dreaming. You don't know you're dreaming sometimes. You just act the first thing, crying baby. You settle that baby.
Yeah. Dorothy, you awaken and you are in a tiny bedroom. And in a room outside of this bedroom, you can hear... And you hear Desiree's voice saying, shh, hush. But you are looking at a woman on the bed who is a skeletal. She is wearing very little, and drool and snot coming out of her nose and mouth. But her eyes are open and they are kind of like staring at the ceiling.
Madam? Are you...
She sort of barely acknowledges you, turning toward you with her trance-like eyes, and there's a slight smile on her face, like she's experiencing pleasure.
Oh. Desiree? Miss Palmer, are you here?
Desiree, you hear Dorothy's voice coming from the other room.
Dorothy? Dorothy, yes, I'm here.
I am not sure where we are, but there is a woman here who seems in distress?
We are at Delancey and Allen. Wilhelm walks out of the shadows and puts his hand onto Dorothy's shoulder.
Can I feel his touch?
Oh yeah, it's ice cold.
Wilhelm. I think that she still kind of instinctively takes his hand. Have you brought us here?
Yes. Look, I have gained the ability to walk in dreams. Isn't it wonderful?
And whose dream is this?
This is a dream that I have created for you. I wanted to show you this woman. I witnessed her with my own eyes only hours ago.
Oh, one moment. Desiree, Wilhelm is here. He's brought us here.
I want to take the baby and come into the room.
Her name is Mildred, and that is her child.
Oh.
Rebecca.
Well, hello, Rebecca.
Look at her. She's in the grips of a narcotic trance. She's addicted. And the baby goes hungry.
Oh, that's awful.
It is awful.
Oh.
But you said that this is something that you've seen, so we could help this child.
You could help her, but then what about the hundreds of others? Addicted, making a living selling themselves on the streets. You know, it is not her fault that she is in this position.
This is what you meant? What we can do now that you have these powers?
Yes. Think to yourself, who is responsible for this?
It's,
Well, I don't know. Doesn't seem to be any one person's fault. The world is hard.
The baby is starving. No, that's wrong, Desiree.
Oh.
It is someone's fault.
Wilhelm,
Have you ever heard the name Mario Salvatore?
Mario Salvatore. Have I?
Yeah, have we?
Maybe make a history roll.
Well, my history is at 5%, but I'm gonna make it anyway.
Well, you know what
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
You deal with underworld types, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think that not history for you. You can make a simple idea roll if you'd like.
Well, then that's a success.
Nice.
Thank very good. Mario Salvatore is a known criminal boss in New York City. He has the cover of a legitimate real estate developer, but he is known for being very involved with drugs and prostitution in New York City.
Oh, Mario. Yes, I know the name. Some of my friends at the club. They've had run-ins with him. He's not a very forgiving boss.
He has sold this woman into slavery. He has gotten her addicted to these foul chemicals. And now the baby starves. We can stop him.
We can. Well, how do you suggest we do that?
I came to you because you are women. You understand. Caring for others, it's
appreciate the trust in us and the faith, but that seems a bit reductive. Yes, it's. I mean, yes, you're women, but
I mean, not to say that you are not complex beings, but you have compassion that men lack. You see that we have to do something.
I think Father McClintock and my dear Lincoln, well, they're some of the most compassionate fellas I know.
Why are we debating? He walks up, he takes the baby from you and throws it to the ground.
what, Wilhelm?
Really?
It's all a dream. He pushes over the table and the bed, and the woman sort of sinks into the ground. I've constructed all of it. He pulls at the walls and they sort of topple over until you're kind of in sort of a cage that kind of it looks like the backdrop or the backstage of a play. And he says, "What shall we do? I can move anywhere I want. I can become invisible or visible at will. What shall we do to Mario Salvatore?"
Well, if this man is connected in the city as you say, then simply taking down the one man may not be enough. We must dismantle the system that he has established. Yes? No?
Dorothy, I don't mean to imply that taking down this one man will solve the problem entirely, but it will be a very good start.
I think that Dorothy is a little bit uncomfortable because she and Wilhelm, I think, shared a very analytical kind of logical approach. And I think that she's a little bit concerned, discomforted by this idea. I see. So
You will help me.
Well, I'll help you. I'll help you, Wilhelm. This Mario, he's bad news, a real bad apple.
That's right.
I think it could only be a good thing to get him out of business.
Yes. So, what shall we do? I could appear to him. I could perhaps apply pressure and make him feel remorse where before there would be none. Or, alternately, I suppose that I could use my new status to learn something of his illicit activities and report them to the authorities.
Well, either one sounds pretty good.
Perhaps both.
Perhaps both, but what would we do? How would we be helpful? Really, that sounds like it's totally your business.
I don't want you to think that I have become some sort of demon, that I've become mad with power. I want you to help guide me, Dorothy. I've always depended on your counsel.
We must think. We must be reasonable. We must think logically. If he is in organized crime, then perhaps the authorities are under his sway in some way.
That makes sense. He wouldn't have survived so long if he didn't have some influence.
And the idea of bringing compassion or remorse to this person seems like a good idea.
Yes.
Force him to stop on his own.
Yes. I should focus on him. The authorities. He's likely bought off the cops. Yes. Very logical. Yes. Very well. I shall go and have a talk with Mario Salvatore.
Can just before you go, what do you intend to tell him?
I'm going to show him what I showed you.
Well, it was very effective.
It's just an endless supply of babies.
Oh. I will show him a starving child. We shall see. We shall see if this is a human or a beast, this Mario Salvatore.
Yes, give him a chance to walk back into the light. Yes.
Yes.
When will we see you next? How can we contact you?
I will contact you. I must go.
Wait, Wilhelm, there was a jar in your
He's
bag.
just waiting for me, yes.
Okay, yes, bye.
Okay. So you awaken the next morning.
Have telephones been invented yet?
Telephones have been invented. Yes, in 1929, absolutely, they are very common.
Okay. Operator,
Yes.
connect me.
Now
to,
here's how much I know beyond that.
Connect me to Dorothy Larsen.
Dorothy Larsen. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So they do that.
Hello?
Dorothy, did you?
The
Have a
dream,
last
yes.
night?
Yes,
Oh.
Wilhelm, yes.
You
With
were
this Salvatore, this Mario.
Oh, you both realize that definitely happened?
Yeah.
Make a sanity roll.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, phew. Okay. I rolled a success.
I rolled a failure 60 over 38.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
your sanity is so bad.
You lose 1 sanity, Desiree Palmer, and my friend Dorothy. You lose 5, which means that you must now make an intelligence roll.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we love this. We love this
So
for
it
Dorothy.
begins.
Intelligence, I passed.
Okay,
Which is
that's
just a regular success, which is not great.
that's not good because it
No.
means that you have now gone temporarily insane. So, Desiree, perhaps you hear on the other end of the phone that Dorothy is having some sort of reaction to the fact that the dream was real.
Dorothy?
Dorothy, I ask you, would you like to tell me how this temporary insanity manifests, or would you like for me to roll on a table?
You know what? I've never done the table thing. If you want to, yeah.
Let's do a bout of madness summary instead of a real time, because I think that this bout of madness will take place over hours, maybe perhaps this whole day. And I'm going to roll the D10.
This is the fun table.
Yeah. And I got a 10. Mania. The investigator gains a new mania. Oh, should we randomize that? Okay. Let's see what comes up. I mean, it could be interesting. Here's the
That makes so
D100.
much sense, though. She would go a little manic, right?
Yeah, the D100 roll. Yeah. What kind of a mania? And if it doesn't make sense, we'll try to make it make sense, or we'll choose something else. That time, that's a 21, which gives us a pathological belief that one is inhabited by an evil spirit.
Oh, yes. Amazing.
Oh, yes.
That
Makes
is
sense.
so appropriate. So, because he was in your dreams, Dorothy.
Yeah.
So now you feel that perhaps Wilhelm has entered your mind, or has inhabited your body as a vessel somehow. And that's quite awful. Would you please add that mania to your sheet, or make a note of it so you can remember that you need to play it at least for the next 24 hours?
Okay. And the key thing here is that I do believe that this spirit is evil.
Well, look, evil or it's not. It doesn't belong in your mind, right? I mean, I don't even think that that's a huge leap to make. You know that it doesn't belong there. It is wrong. This is a violation.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you say over the phone to Desiree that she hears?
This is not Wilhelm was always persistent, but he was never, he never tried to take over. He never tried to cross a boundary in this way, and he was I worry about him, his ability to possess others, and what he will bring into me now that he is able to cross into other people. He's going to touch this Salvatore, and I
Well,
Just-
yeah,
Dorothy, you wonder for a moment if Wilhelm is making you say this right now.
is he? What is this my mind? Am I my own person? Am I?
Dorothy,
Desiree,
sweetheart.
I do not know if I am me. I do not, my intellect,
Dorothy,
my
you're
mind is
talking.
the only thing.
You're talking a little too fast, and I like fast talk. But sweetheart, think about all the good things we can do. This Mario, he's a real bad actor. We can do some great things.
Yes, but will it be us? Will it be Dorothy Larsen, or will it be just the body that once was her, and now it is controlled by something that may seem friendly, as Father McClintock was saying, friendly at first, but then dangerous in the end. I have spent enough time away from this world. I do not want to be removed from it again.
Well, honey, just slow down. You're talking a little crazy. Of course you're still you, and I'm still me.
Desiree, I hear what you're saying, but I've had enough of men calling me crazy. So if you could maybe just, alter your language, it doesn't matter. Okay, yes.
Oh, sure.
Dorothy, you wonder if perhaps Desiree isn't really Desiree, that perhaps Wilhelm is speaking through Desiree.
I just don't.
Oh, sure, sweetheart. I didn't mean to call you crazy. Just that you're not talking like yourself. Normally, you and me, we can keep things pretty cool.
You're right. Normally, we can keep things very cool. You know? I must pee. Please excuse me. And she'll hang up the phone.
What? All right. She does keep very hydrated.
Very good. So let us cut to the next scene, and I think that unless anybody has any business that they would conduct beforehand, I believe that your group would have prepared to meet again. Is that correct?
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you meet again, and is it fair to say that it isn't exactly the next day? I mean, or could it be maybe several days pass, or do you think that you would immediately? Well, you'd probably share some of this information, right?
Yeah, well, I think
Okay.
I think certainly after Father McClintock's revelation of the night before, the following day he is going to try to contact the other three and suggest that they meet at the church.
Very good. Is any objections? Does everybody want to meet at the church?
Yeah, meeting at the church makes a lot of sense.
Okay, Dorothy, I'll just remind you that at this meeting, you worry that Wilhelm is inside you and controlling you in some way, or perhaps controlling others. And so
I'm about to make that worse.
Okay. You all are sitting in pews. It's the middle of the day, and Father McClintock has something to tell you.
Yeah, Father McClintock is pacing up and down nervously in front of the pews, and I'm sorry to drag you all here together like this. I know we weren't scheduled to meet for a little while longer, but I had a revelation last night. I came back to the church to pray for poor Wilhelm's soul before heading to bed, and when I entered the church, when I stood upon sanctified ground, I had this realization that I had been under some sort of malign influence throughout the rest of the day, that something had been dogging me, perceiving me, something had been watching over me, and not in a good way. And even I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much about this. Maybe I'm reading too much into the situation, but my fear is, even if this entity that we have encountered is Wilhelm, and I'm not saying it is, but even if it is, it got me thinking, in a situation as he describes, how many of us would even stay human? Even the strongest of us would be corrupted by such power, wouldn't we? But I don't know.
Well, even if he has,
maybe I'm too concerned.
Well, I think you're right to be concerned, Father. But even if he has been corrupted, his powers, he's trying to use them for good. For Dorothy and I, we talked to him last night in a dream, a shared dream.
My dear Miss Palmer, my dear Miss Palmer, There is a reason why the proverb tells us the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It doesn't matter what our intentions start out as. If our desires and our actions are corrupted by power, then we may do the most terrible things while we believe ourselves to be good.
Well, how could convincing a mafia boss to turn his life of crime aside, how could that be a bad thing, Father? Tell me that.
I'm sorry, what?
Mario Salvatore. Ever heard of him? Mafia boss, drugs.
I must admit I'd rarely move in those circles.
Well, I know him, and I know him to be a pretty bad cat.
Wait, how do you know this guy, Desi?
Oh, just some of the girls I work with, darling. Just some circles I run in.
Right.
Nothing personal.
Yeah, pretty handsome guy.
Oh, I don't like Italians.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay. Well,
Too handsy.
definitely a 1920s attitude.
Your relationship has been saved by racism.
Yeah, just a light racism.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Based on Lincoln, what you're giving out here, I would like for you to make a psychology roll, and I would like for Father McClintock to make a fast talk roll.
Oh shit. Okay.
I've failed terribly. 88 over 10.
Yeah, well, I've got the base on fast talk, so I don't see this going well.
Oh, that's
I rolled a 10.
a great roll.
You see, there's the temptation to spend 5 points of luck and turn that into a success. At the same time, I kind of want dramatically to fail this, so I'm not going to.
Very good. But it looks like you failed less than Lincoln, who is so bad at psychology. So the reason I asked for it is because I think that their fast talk doesn't just control what you say; it also controls how much you're able to hide your emotions or your true intentions. And I think that perhaps you are getting quite emotional and intense when you are describing desires and things like that to Desiree Palmer. Fortunately, Lincoln, he knows something's up, but he thinks it has something to do with this mafia boss.
He's worried about the dream he had last night as well. He's preoccupied.
Did either of you have a dream about Wilhelm? Did he visit you?
I think he did, but he wasn't there. But it was the big game, and I threw the touchdown pass.
All right. So anyway,
And Ricky dropped it. Remember, I told you about Ricky and his hand.
Yes, you've had this dream before, sweetheart.
we talk about Ricky all the time.
But it's been so long that I think Wilhelm put that in my brain. Do you understand?
Sure, of course.
Dorothy, that's horrific. I mean, now we have Lincoln saying Wilhelm put something in his brain, and you know that Wilhelm is putting things in your brain.
Just a little too loudly, I think, in the middle of someone else. Father McClintock, did you said that you realized this is happening? Is there something that you did to relieve yourself of the burden of this foreign alien presence?
Prayer, my dear Miss Larsen, prayer. I understand that not all of you share my faith, and that has never been a barrier to us working together. But sometimes you have to understand that faith is the greatest defense we have against certain forces. I can try to protect you as long as we are here on sanctified ground. I believe we are safer than outside the mundane world. But there is only so much I can do for you. The ability to protect yourself has to come from within and from your relationship with the divine.
Well, that's not helpful now. This is it, right? We have a something, a spirit. Perhaps it is Wilhelm, perhaps it is not, but he can inhabit people or visit them. And so we cannot trust anyone, even each other.
What?
Well, Well, I trust you.
That is illogical. It's foolish. It's irrational to think that. How would you know? How do you know if it is me speaking, telling you these things, and not a force? You know.
Well, if Wilhelm was controlling your body, why would he tell me to doubt what you're saying right now? That's illogical.
He's trying to drive a wedge. He's trying to drive a wedge between all of us. We must all pray now. No. Anyone who doesn't pray is obviously possessed.
Oh, well, then our Father who art in heaven.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dorothy, but I interpret your beliefs to be extremely non-religious up until this point.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. There's no need for a God when you have, reason.
Logic and common sense.
Yeah.
Can I hear what Dorothy's attempt at a prayer sounds like?
To whom it may concern.
Wait, that tickled me so much.
Okay.
German.
That's good. That's good. It starts that way. I think we can figure out how the rest of it goes. You finish praying, and you are in a beautiful cathedral in the middle of the day, and the sun is shining through the windows, and you feel safe.
It works. It's very good, yes.
You feeling better now, sweetheart?
Mechanically, does this resolve my madness at all?
No, I told you 24 hours, but some people may hide things from other people, I mean, yeah.
Yes. It is all good.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about next steps moving forward. So Wilhelm told Dorothy and I in our dream that he was going to try to influence Mario Salvatore to give up his life of crime, and that there was no way to contact him, but he would contact us. And then he said he had to go, that he was being called back.
That's interesting, Desi, but I feel like you're trying to shift the focus away from my dream.
Oh, okay, sweetheart. Yes. And then Wilhelm knocked the ball out of Ricky's hands, and that's an omen for something. Yes. Okay, but what do we do? What do we do now?
I find myself fascinated by the way this spirit, let's call him Wilhelm for convenience, even if he turns out not to be Wilhelm, he appears to be Wilhelm. I find it fascinating the way Wilhelm keeps being called back somewhere. This seems to tie with what the book suggested about there being some tethering. It makes me think that he is being called back to whatever it is that he is tethered to. Assuming it is Wilhelm and not something pretending to be him.
He disappeared before Dorothy can ask him about the jar and what was in it. But we should, if he comes to anyone, somebody bring that up right away.
Do you want me to call Dr. Morgan? Is anybody into that?
You also could go and have access to the jar and investigate it yourself if you wish, but you can also ask Wilhelm next time you see him.
Dr. Morgan, remind me who that figure is.
Dr. Morgan is a consultant that you've used. He is one of Lincoln's former professors at Miskatonic University, and he is a full medical doctor, as well as being initiated into the mysteries of the supernatural.
And he gave me a C because he's a big football fan.
That's right.
Then maybe, yes, we present him with the contents of the jar and ascertain exactly what they are. It did seem like at least some of them were of human origin. You mentioned there was hair. That could be very significant. Certainly in ritual magic and ceremonial magic, there is the association of parts of the body with the whole, what is called sympathetic magic. This may be related here.
Out of character,
like Egyptology and Egypt was like such a fad in the 20s. It was so like popular culture, Tutankhamun's like tomb and all of the like pyramids and stuff. Would we know, or could I roll something like about, I don't know, current events or something to know a little bit about Egyptology and specifically the way that's like body parts play into Egypt?
Yeah, I hear you.
Ritual.
You would have to either look it up because you don't have that knowledge on your own. It wouldn't just be kind of floating around like common knowledge, you know? Or someone with archaeology could roll their archaeology. Or as I said, you could use library use to kind of look it up. And if I'm not mistaken, Desiree's not much for either of those things.
No, she's not, but she's certainly higher in library than archaeology.
Okay.
Lincoln has archaeology. It must have been Dr. Morgan's class.
Perhaps a trip to Miskatonic is not completely insane. They have a beyond the excellent library, and they have a consultant who can maybe tell you what to make of this jar.
Okay, I think that's a really good idea. I think we maybe should see Dr. Morgan, and we can bring him that jar, and we can ask him if he knows any Egyptologists or if he's familiar with the subject.
Okay.
So if I'm understanding correctly, what you're proposing is that we take the jar from the ritual space, take it out of that place, remove it.
Well,
No,
Exactly.
You do present an interesting point there, Miss Larsen, that while it is within the ritual circle, maybe that is containing something.
can we take just a little tuft of hair and a few of those crumbs as a sample? Do we think that would break the spell?
Who is to say? You know, it is. I do not know any spells myself. It occurs to me that you do, Miss Palmer, know spells.
I'm a little familiar with the subject. And her hand drifts to one of the pockets of her traveling costume, and where you might see the outline of a small book in her pocket.
Dorothy, you think that right now you are worried about taking the contents out of the ritual space, and you think it might be Wilhelm who's actually worried about the contents leaving the ritual space.
Oh, we're fucked.
Perhaps if he has been influenced by some darker forces, the tether is not to the world, but to something evil. Perhaps it is. But is this? All right. Listen, I think that perhaps I should sit quietly here and think for a minute. Thank you.
You do that, sweetheart, and you get a big glass of water or something. Why don't Lincoln and I go collect that jar, and we'll meet you in Punxsutawney or wherever it was.
Arkham, Miskatonic University. Do people want to take our trip? Not everybody needs to go. Do people want to take a trip?
Now I want to go to Punxsutawney. February?
It's March, darling. It's March.
Oh yeah, we were just there for Groundhog Day. You got confused.
March 16th.
We're going to Arkham. Yeah.
I think that Dorothy would basically just want to go where their father McClintock is going, because she feels like he is probably the best defense that she has against the dark arts.
Then I think Father McClintock is quite happy to leave Lincoln and Desiree to drive up to Arkham. I think, yes, perhaps we still need to finish searching Wilhelm's townhouse. There may still be secrets to be uncovered there.
You stay here and you leave me and Lincoln alone.
I'll just also say, Father McClintock, that your initial reading of the book was a skim that gave you a really interesting clue, but a deep study of the book might reveal more clues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's split the party.
Can we sketch the ritual symbols as well and take that with us?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can. Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll
Do we need to roll anything for sketching? Does anybody have sketching?
No, I'm not gonna make you do that. It's simple enough. Like even someone who can't draw could probably make some of these symbols if they're just copying them onto paper. Yeah. Are you taking the entire jar?
if they'll let me, I think that makes the most sense. If everybody else lets me take the jar.
Yeah. Do they let you?
I think, yes, I think you might as well, because I suspect that taking any out of the circle will have the same effect as taking all of it. So you might.
Well, all right then. For convenience sake, I want to take a little duster, little sweeper broom, tiny broom, and brush up all those crumbs in hair back into the jar.
Okay.
Now, darling, you do have to be a little more careful, okay? I don't want you making such a mess.
We're going to say that the trip takes several days. So,
Ooh, can we take the train?
Yes, you do. You do.
Yeah, of course we do.
Days pass. While you're in Arkham consulting, what was it, Dr.
Morgan.
Dr. Morgan, I want to know, we're going to start with Father McClintock and Dorothy. What are you doing over the next several days? You're thoroughly investigating the townhouse, reading the book. What are you doing?
I think that if Father McClintock is working on deciphering the book, then Dorothy might be kind of like running to libraries or whatever to look up additional like references or anything to try to really build out their understanding of like what's going on in this book. And, you know, perhaps she has some like other philosopher friends who are a little bit closer to the religious. And so maybe also kind of leveraging those people to try to get as comprehensive an understanding as possible about what it is that they're dealing with. And also every day, I think that she stops off by the church just to do a little bit more praying. Hello, it's me again. And then she'll kind of like buzz off to wherever she's going to do the research.
Give me, over these next couple days, give me a library use roll as you go through all of his things to try to get a bigger picture, a more complete picture of what he was trying to do. And Father McClintock, where exactly are your efforts going?
My efforts are primarily going into the book. I am quite happy to supplement that by going through the rest of his library and seeing whether there are any references that might help with this.
I think this deep study of the book requires several days, and you're actually putting in like 4 to 6 hour shifts on it. And I think that what I would like from you is a hard intelligence roll.
Okay.
And let me know, Dorothy, how your library use roll went.
Well, I did roll a 69. Nice, but that is a fail. But I will spend 4 points of luck to make that a regular success.
Okay. So you realize that although Wilhelm had collected all kinds of different types of occult knowledge, his special expertise was in life after death. And it's interesting that he never told you that. He always showed you that he had occult knowledge, esoteric knowledge, but he did not share with you that he was, based on his collection here, quite obsessed with the afterlife, near-death experiences, techniques for living on after the body has died. You do send out several letters to colleagues who you think might have some philosophical expertise that could help with this. All of them repeat things that you sort of already know or could read in in Wilhelm's letters, except one letter comes in, and it is from a friend named, let's say, Alicia Sullivan. And Alicia says, I found your letter in very poor taste. I am not sure if this is the way that you meant to memorialize our friend Wilhelm, but I thought the tone of it and the content of it were offensive. I worry that your radical beliefs have led you down a road that you will regret later. Writing a letter purporting to be from a friend who has died and signing it with his name is not something I consider amusing. I think we should meet and talk this over. Please call.
Oh my God.
Make a sanity roll.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems fair.
Oh no.
I passed that. 24 under 33.
Wow. Ooh.
Very well done. Just take a point off.
Uh-oh.
I do not like being accused of these things. Okay. I think that she will call. She'll call this friend.
Very good. She's going to do that, but I want to know how Father McClintock's intelligence roll went.
Not well at all. I didn't even pass a regular one, let alone a hard one.
Father McClintock, this thing is not a good Latin translation. It is a sort of, whoever was translating this, their use of the Latin vocabulary is and their interpretation is extremely unique, and you are having a lot of trouble parsing the things that you're finding out. But you're not quite sure how the binding spell works, but you think that you figured out that once the ritual is conducted, the person is bound to like the soul is bound to some earthbound object, person, place, or thing, and then once it's done, it's done. Meaning you're pretty sure that taking the jar away wasn't a disaster, right? Like you found the remains of a ritual.
Phew. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't really know all the ins and outs of it yet. You're just pretty sure that you haven't set off some sort of horrible magical trap.
What I'd like to do is push the roll if I can, because I'm struggling with this terrible Latin translation. So I wonder whether if I consult with a fellow priest whose Latin skills are better than mine, then he might have better ideas. If I talk to my old friend Father Matthew and just see whether he can make sense of this. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to like the contents one little bit, but he may understand them.
Yeah, absolutely. Father Matthew Tripoli. He can
An Italian.
An Italian man. Tripoli is a name that I planned out when I came up with this adventure. It's the first thing I thought of, and it's not something I just came up with off the top of my head.
Yep.
Okay, so you go and you take the book to him, and you may now push your roll. And remember, if you fail, something terrible happens. But with your friend helping you, I will give you a bonus die.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't need a bonus die. That's a 14. So yes, that's an extreme on my intelligence roll.
Well, with the help of Father Matthew Tripoli, you realize that the way the ritual works is whatever's put into the center of the circle is the thing. It becomes the anchor or the fetter that holds the soul to the earth. And that anchor or fetter, it doesn't have to be the whole thing. Like, for example, if you were going to use a building as your fetter, you might take a brick from the building. Or if you were going to use a tree as your fetter, you might take a leaf from it. Meanwhile, in Arkham,
Oh, jeez.
Dr. Morgan looks up from his microscope and says, "Yes, definitely human. Some of these are nail clippings, and then there's some very old dried blood here, and well, of course, you knew that this was hair."
Yeah, I did figure that part out. He's got a scarf wrapped around his whole head, by the way, because the professor's never seen the scar. He's like Dark Man in here with a hat and scarf.
As usual, you don't have to make Cupp lose sanity for his character to act like he's having a bout of madness.
Mm-hmm.
Are you cold, Lincoln?
Yeah, these old academic buildings get drafty, you know? He really shined up his championship ring, so he's kind of shoving that in the guy's face.
Really understand you with your mouth muffled like that.
He'll undo just enough.
I found this. I don't think you noticed this. But when I got some of the other detritus off of it, look. And he holds up, and one of the shards of like the dust and like the detritus that was in the jar is kind of red and lacquered.
Red and lacquered. Is that nail polish or jewelry?
I think it's nail polish.
Nail polish. So then it's probably nail clippings from a woman.
A woman's nail. That's what I'd say. Yes. Oh, why am I looking at this?
Our friend Wilhelm did something in the cellar. We think it was a ritual, so we thought that with your esoteric knowledge, you might be able to help us figure out what he was doing with the ritual and if there are any consequences in taking this jar. But in hindsight, we should have asked that first before we came.
It was probably a love potion. That's what we think it was. And this, she's lying, obviously, to like protect Dr. Morgan. It's probably a love potion, seeing that it was a woman in there who's probably getting this person to fall in love with them. But is there any other clues we can tell from these materials about who they may have once belonged to?
If it was a ritual, these articles, these pieces of a person, they're meant to represent the person sympathetically. So, yes, a love potion sounds accurate. They were intended to ensorcel the person whom these clippings and hairs belong to.
But what about these symbols? And I'll hand the sketch over to Dr. Morgan.
Yes. I'm not an Egyptologist by trade. Let me take a look. So Dr. Morgan looks at the sigils that Lincoln and Desiree have brought him after having analyzed the human remains that he found in the jar. And he makes his occult roll. And he tells you that he can't make heads or tails of this and that he is not an Egyptologist by trade.
Could you refer us to an Egyptologist?
No, I'm not going to send you to another expert and another expert. That is not the focus of this adventure.
All right, I guess.
Thank you, Dr.
Fair.
Morgan.
Imagine if the way I designed the adventure was they'll ask Dr. Morgan, but I want them to have to then go talk to someone else.
Yeah. So could I ask you though, did we recognize like the color of nail polish? Was it familiar to us at all?
Make a extreme idea roll. Make an extreme intelligence roll.
Great. Do we both get to roll that though?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, extreme. Oh, I made a hard. I'm 16 points away.
Ooh.
That's a little too much, I think, to spend luck. 16 points. Is it enough to know, do I wear red nail polish? Does Desiree wear red?
You do not wear this shade.
I don't wear that shade.
It doesn't. You don't recognize it as a shade that you would wear.
Can I keep that sliver?
Yes, you may, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it with little tiny little forceps or something that the doctor's got and slip it into a little wax paper envelope. What color's the hair?
The hair?
Can we tell?
It's just kind of like, it's either brown or black. It's dark.
Brown or black, dark hair. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of that hair too and put it in my little wax paper envelope and stick it into my pocket.
Lincoln's confused. Like, are you going to cast a love spell?
Why would I need to cast a love spell when I've got my love right here? No, this is just for research purposes. Just for comparison later. I've got a hunch, and I need to confirm it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to leave, Dr. Morgan. It was great to take the train out here.
It's been a pleasure. We love a train ride. My baby loves a road trip.
Well, you've been out here a couple days, okay? You didn't like show up immediately, walk in here, have him say what he said, and then leave.
No, you probably gave me a tour of the campus.
Yeah, we
and,
went to the stadium. Yeah,
Yeah, you
reenacted the winning touchdown.
The spot where Rick dropped the ball and all that. Okay, so you prepare to return to New York City, and now we turn to Dorothy Larsen. Dorothy, you're going to meet your friend Alicia Sullivan. You've set up a meeting at a coffee house in Midtown. And as you are walking, you spot a newspaper headline. A man is just kind of holding a newspaper as he waits for the bus. And it says, local real estate developer falls from balcony.
Oh.
And it says, Mario Salvatore dead, possible suicide. Please make a sanity roll.
Oh God, poor Dorothy.
No, this is all part of he failed by 1, and I'm just gonna go ahead and eat that.
Oh, you can't use luck on a sanity roll anyway.
And
All right.
failed
let's
by
see.
1.
What did I have here for the?
This is good. This is right and good.
You remember that you were the one that told Wilhelm to talk to Mario Salvatore, and now it appears that Mario Salvatore has fallen from a high height, and you lose 3 more sanity.
I am pretty sure that takes me more than a 5th of my sanity.
More than a 5th within this scenario, but not more than a 5th within what is it? 24 hours? Is that right, Cupp?
Okay.
Yes, until you sleep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Until you sleep.
Perfect.
So we're gonna get Dorothy all the way down to 0. Don't worry. Dorothy, you are probably quite discombobulated during your meeting with Alicia Sullivan. She's waiting at the coffee house for you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
So is Alicia kind of in the know about all of the occult stuff and, the research? Okay.
Alicia is not. Alicia is, I would say, a Jungian philosopher. So she is not a psychoanalyst or psychiatrist by trade, but she studies mythology. She studies human culture, anthropology, and things like that. And you had kind of set out a wide, went in a wide circle to try to find out if anybody knew anything about Wilhelm. And she is waiting for you in this coffee house, in a hotel, in the lobby of a hotel in Midtown.
Hello, Alicia. It has been a while.
Dorothy, sit down.
Yes.
Are you quite okay?
I will be honest. I am not sure how to answer that question.
I recognized your script. And she pushes a letter across the small table to you.
Yeah, Dorothy will grab it and just she wants to know what the fuck she wrote.
Yes. You don't recognize the letter at all. But it does appear to be in your handwriting. And it is signed Wilhelm Vogler. Digging into the actual paragraph, it is just telling Alicia how he has discovered he can now see anywhere he wants to see. He can be anywhere he wants to be. He has such peace and such joy now. And if you were not privy to the experiences you've recently been privy to, it would sound like someone had written a letter from Wilhelm Vogler saying, "I'm in heaven now," more or less. But having actually talked to Wilhelm, it does sound like some of the craziness that he's been sharing with you. And it is in your handwriting, and it is signed Wilhelm Vogler. I understand that his death has been hard on you, but I worry about the state of your composure if you're writing such things.
I understand, and I share your concern. I must admit I have no memory of writing any of this. But it is my handwriting. I apologize.
Maybe it's time for you to take a little break. I know a place outside the city where Well, an intellectual like yourself might go to relax for a couple days. Have you been visiting the Sapphire Club a lot recently?
What is a lot? I work with Miss Palmer, and she, works there. So,
Miss Palmer is perhaps not someone who values your safety and your health. When I read The Mind Body Enigma, I was struck by your dedication to physical rigor, to not polluting your body with substances.
Yes. It is.
And now I receive this, the product of a troubled mind.
I have no excuse. I have no explanation. I have not been consuming any. I had some scotch for Wilhelm, but I do not. Where is this place that I can go to rest?
I'll give you the number. Or if you prefer not to pay, perhaps go to your cabin for a while. Get away from the city.
Of course, it has been so hectic. I did not think. Yes.
She gives you the number of what is basically the 1920s version of a rehab facility.
Can I take that letter?
You may take it. I suggest you tear it up and throw it in the trash.
I will. I will do that. I must think hard about what I have done.
Very good. The meeting is over, and you abscond with the letter. And I'd like to return to Lincoln and Desiree on the train. It's late, and people are sort of sleeping in their berths. And you notice, I don't think you guys have a private car. You're not like extremely wealthy rich. So you're in one of those cars where people sit, kind of like 2 or 3 on a bench, and they kind of, it's kind of like a private room, but it's got several passengers in it, and it's comfortable. You can kind of take a nap if you want.
Lincoln, sweetheart, if you're feeling sleepy, why don't you just rest on up on my shoulder?
Yeah, I'll do that.
No problem. And Desiree, are you remaining alert?
Yeah, Desiree's going to stay awake. She's thinking about this red nail polish. She's thinking about how Wilhelm, if he had wanted to tie himself somewhere to the earth, to a person, that it would have probably been Dorothy. And now she's seeing the nail polish, which makes her think it's a woman, and she can't remember if Dorothy wears red nail polish herself, but she's worried now about, and she's remembering how Dorothy said, "Is Wilhelm living in my mind?" And now she's thinking maybe Dorothy was onto something. Maybe he is living in her mind. Maybe he's tied himself to her body.
Making a call. Well, you know what? That's very well reasoned. And I'm not going to make you make an occult roll. You think that Dorothy might be the fetter. It's very dark in the train car, and there is a gentleman across the room, across the little car from you, with a newspaper kind of over his face as he sleeps. And you read the headline, and it says, "Real estate developer falls from balcony. Possible suicide of Mario Salvatore."
Oh, well, good riddance to bad trash, but I guess Wilhelm's talk didn't go as smoothly as...
The man lowers the newspaper. It's Wilhelm. "Hello, Desiree."
Well, hello there, Willie. Seems you've been busy since we've talked last.
There were complications with Mr. Salvatore.
Why don't you tell me all about it? Give me the details.
I tried to make him see what he had done. I believe he could not live with the guilt.
Oh, so you're saying he jumped off that balcony himself? You didn't encourage him to do that in any which way?
I didn't encourage him. I simply showed him what he had done.
Well, Willie,
And what
you're
have
living
you
in
been
people's
doing?
minds. What have I been doing? Well, I've been doing some research. And it seems that maybe you weren't being very honest with us. And you definitely weren't being honest with Miss Dorothy. We found your ritual. We found the jar. We found the human remains. Is it Dorothy? Have you tied yourself to Dorothy on this material plane? Why wouldn't you tell her?
You can't tell the others.
And why wouldn't I? Why should I trust you anymore when you've already lied to us?
I know things about you, Desiree.
About
What will
about
Lincoln
me?
say? What will Lincoln say when he finds out about Father McClintock?
No. Well, he's not going to say anything because he's never going to find out. Because nothing happened.
Something happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're forgetting, Desiree. I can walk inside your mind. Your secrets are like paintings. I can stand and look at every little detail.
Wilhelm.
I will tell him. He turns to Lincoln sleeping on your shoulder.
Stop. Wait. We'll break
Do
his
not
heart.
tell the others.
Well, I won't, but the old Wilhelm never would have broken Lincoln's heart like that. You've changed.
I am doing what must be done. There is more work that we can do together. I think that perhaps Mario Salvatore, I was thinking too small. Have you seen how the Haitians are being treated by the U.S. occupation?
Well, no, because I've been here in Manhattan.
They have been horribly abused by the Marines stationed there.
You're moving on from New York City to Haiti? Well, you've certainly gone global, Wilhelm, but
I can go to Haiti in the blink of an eye. And he disappears for a moment. And then he reappears. I was just there.
Wilhelm, you're beginning to scare me.
You're beginning to scare me. Throw away the contents of the envelope and tell no one what you have discovered.
Well, I can't do that, Wilhelm. I need to know more about what you're
Then
doing
Lincoln
here.
will know of your treachery. I'm sorry. I must go speak with Lincoln. And he disappears.
No, wait! Oh, God.
Lincoln, make a power roll.
Oh boy.
She's not going to throw the envelope away, though.
I failed my power roll, 84 over 50.
You find yourself walking through St. Bartholomew's. Up ahead, behind the altar, you hear the sounds of passion.
He is going to walk toward the sounds slowly.
Without going into too much detail, as you mount the steps up to the stage of the church, and you look past the podium, you see Father McClintock and Desiree Palmer in an embrace.
How real does this feel to Lincoln?
Feels 100% real.
Okay. I think he's going to lunge toward them and try to separate them. Like, no, what are you doing?
Okay. As you pull them apart, it's like pieces of them come off attached to each other. So part of Desiree's face is stuck to Father McClintock's head, and part of Father McClintock's arm comes off onto Desiree's torso. They were in a tight embrace apparently, and they sort of fall apart in your hands as the church itself sort of seems to come apart a little bit, and they once again look like a set, the backstage of a play, and there is someone wearing a priest's collar and cassock in front of you, and it is Wilhelm Vogler.
Wilhelm, what the hell is this?
She's lying to you.
No, Dorothy said that. She said you were some spirit or something.
Has broken his vows. And Desiree Palmer cannot control her lusts.
It's impossible. I mean,
she has broken her vows to you.
But even if she wanted to, he's a priest and...
Lincoln. She's lied to you. She doesn't love you.
Ever since you died, right? The scars? No, I feel it.
It's your face.
She's so handsome. I mean,
she's a venal woman, Lincoln.
I mean, what can I do? What can I do?
I leave that to you. I simply thought you deserved to know the truth.
Well, you can help me, right?
Now that I can see it.
You can get into people's heads, right? Does she love him? Was it just a fling? Or does he love her? How do they feel now?
You should ask her. Make a sanity roll.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna wake up insane. I passed. 29 under 49.
Lose 1 point of sanity.
Okay.
And you awaken on Desiree's shoulder.
Okay. I think with the 1 point loss, he's gonna kind of push her away when he wakes up. Just like startled by the whole scene.
Like it?
Desi, I had a weird dream, like everybody seems to be having, but hell, I'm just gonna ask you. Did you have a relationship with the father, with McClintock? Did you?
Who told you
sleep with him?
Who told you that?
You know who told me that.
Wilhelm.
He's lying, right?
He's trying to drive a wedge between us. Oh gosh, and Desiree is fighting right now. Does she tell the truth or does she lie? She knows she's a good liar, and she knows that Lincoln's an idiot, and she knows she could probably convince him that it was a lie.
And while you're thinking that over, he's going to turn to you uncharacteristically and like really show you the scarred side of his face and say, "Do you still love me?"
Oh, Lincoln. Lincoln, here's the truth. The truth is, I still love you. I always have. And I did have an evening with Father McClintock.
Give me another sanity roll, Lincoln.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm
this
sorry.
Is called double jeopardy.
Wow, I rolled a 6.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You lose 1 more sanity.
Okay.
It didn't mean anything?
I think he understands it, but he's still gonna have a little bit of a reaction here. I think he's almost gonna like kick the seat off the wall of the train and just start storming out to the next carriage.
Lincoln, don't go, please. It's what he wants. It's what Wilhelm wants. He wanted me to lie to you, and he wanted you to catch me in that lie, and he wanted to drive a wedge between us. And
make a power roll. Make a power roll, Lincoln.
Oh, me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I failed. 77.
Oh, unfortunately, you suddenly... What do you say next to her?
I'll turn back from the door going to the next carriage and say, "But he didn't make you sleep
But
with
he
Father.
didn't make you sleep with Father."
No, it was a mistake. It was
Your
my
hands
choice.
and limbs begin to feel like they're asleep.
No, it was my choice, and I did it, and it was a mistake, and I'm sorry. I wanted to keep it from you because I didn't want to hurt you, but...
Your face feels like it's asleep, Lincoln. Everything feels numb.
Oh, boy.
You feel your feet walking toward her.
Lincoln.
You
Lincoln,
feel
I'm
your
sorry.
arms raising.
Oh, boy.
Please.
You feel your hands reaching for her neck.
Lincoln, what are you doing?
Please make a hand-to-hand combat roll.
Oh, no. That's nasty. Let's
Cupp,
see.
you monster.
God damn it.
That is nasty.
I Passed. 56 under 70.
Lincoln grabs Desiree by the throat. The train hurtles through the night. They're between cars. Everything is dark. And now we are going to settle this not like a normal Call of Cthulhu combat, but just go roll for roll to kind of simplify it. Right now, you are being strangled, Desiree Palmer. And we're going to go ahead and say that was a successful attack. And so I'm going to go ahead and have Lincoln, would you please roll your damage, which I believe is 1d3 plus 1d4, if I'm not mistaken?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, my damage bonus. Yep. So it's 3 and 3, 6.
Oh, by the way, every time Mary Lou plays Call of Cthulhu with me, I kill her.
Yeah. I forgot.
I'm the one who's supposed to die.
But I have never lived to the end of a game of Call of Cthulhu with Jared, and it's usually because of my own character choices. But I'm gonna fight to live in this one.
Yes. So cold hands are on your throat, pressing you against the wall of the carriage of the car. Lights are flashing by the windows. There's like a strobing effect as you fly through an outlying town through the night. And what do, Desiree Palmer?
Well, what you may or may not know is that Desiree keeps that thing on her at all times. She's got a tiny derringer.
Nice.
In her pocket.
Scott's so happy.
And she knows her sweet Lincoln would never raise his hands against her like this. And so I want to take my derringer and I want to shoot him in the leg.
Okay, great. So in order to hit the leg, it is a hard roll. In order to just shoot him, it's a normal roll.
Okay. Can I just make a normal roll, and then if it's hard, can I shoot him in the leg? And if it's just a success, can I just shoot him?
Exactly right. Yes. So
okay.
We'll interpret it that way. Yes.
Okay. Oh gosh, firearms, handguns. Oh, I'm not trained in handguns?
No.
Oh my God, that's a success.
Oh boy.
It is
point blank.
I rolled a 16, and my base handgun is 20.
You succeed, but you don't shoot him in the leg.
Oh no.
You shoot him in the chest.
Oh.
Roll your damage.
Oh. The damage is 1d6. Oh my God.
I hate to kill my own character, but is this point blank?
5.
Is it going to be 6
It's
plus
point
1d6?
blank. Yes, 6 plus 1d6. Yeah.
Is that the
Point
rule,
blank.
Scott? Did I get that right?
It is. It's the rule. It's the rule today.
Yeah.
I like that rule.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So if it's 6 plus 1d6, I rolled a 5. So it's 11 points of damage.
All right. Well, I had 15, so that's more than half. So it's a major wound.
A major wound.
I also have a major wound from if I took 6 points.
Both of you make con rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
This feels like a bad scenario to fall unconscious in.
It does, doesn't it?
Let's see.
I rolled a success.
Fuck, I failed all these. I failed that. 81.
You shoot Lincoln. He crumples to the ground unconscious, bleeding out of his abdomen. And now lights are coming on inside of the train.
Doctor, please. We need a doctor. He's been shot.
Conductors and people come rushing up. And is there a doctor? Let's find out. I'd say
how's the first aid on this
train from Massachusetts to New York? I'd say the chances are good, 50-50. Let's see.
Or a nurse, or a medical professional.
Roll for each of them. Each of the
of any
professions.
kind.
There is no doctor or nurse.
Oh,
God.
And so Lincoln continues to bleed, and over the next half hour, while people scramble to help him, he loses an additional 4 hit points.
Oh.
Well,
I am dying.
Finally, they stop the train early at a station, and they have somehow contacted the hospital ahead of time, and emergency workers load Lincoln's body onto a stretcher and take him off of the train. And Desiree, a pair of cops walk up to you.
Hello, officers.
And she's smoking furiously, hand shaking around the cigarette.
We're told you called for help.
I did, of course. That's my Lincoln, my sweet Lincoln.
Do you know who shot him?
Well,
You're gonna have to come with us, ma'am.
Oh, no, of course I know who shot him. Of course I know who shot him. It was a crazy hobo who was right in the rails. He was standing on the top of the train car, and it's my gun, of course. It's my gun. I have it right here. But he ripped the gun from me, and he tried to rob me and Lincoln.
Make a sanity roll.
Yeah. Oh, I passed.
Okay. Then you only take one sanity loss, and you may now make a fast talk roll. But in order for them to believe the hobo story, you need to get an extreme success.
Extreme success?
Yes, the hobo story seems pretty extreme.
What? Hobos trap raid the rails all the time in the 20s. Come on.
Sure.
Oh, God. Not even close. Didn't even pass.
You are brought into custody and taken to the police station.
Oh, all right, fine. I was lying about the hobo, but it was just because my Lincoln, my sweet Lincoln, I didn't. He never would have done this.
And she shows them the bruises on her neck. If she's taken a major wound, I think she's probably got purple fingerprints on her neck, and so she maybe she pulls aside her silk scarf and she shows them the bruises, and she goes, so you see, it was in self-defense, but my Lincoln, he wasn't himself. It was something else. A passion had taken over him. He was upset with me.
We're in an interview room right now, and two detectives listen to you and then look at each other, and the look on their face says, what in God's name is going on here? You, Dorothy, Larsen, and Father McClintock receive a message that your friend Lincoln Reeve is being held in the hospital. And shortly thereafter, you get a phone call. Let's say, Dorothy, you get a phone call from Desiree Palmer.
That would be my one phone call. Yes, that would absolutely be my one phone call. Is exactly to Dorothy.
Hello?
Dorothy, are you there?
Desiree, is that you?
Okay, I don't have much time, and this is my one phone call. I've been arrested. I'm in the station in Punxsutawney on the way to Arkham. Lincoln's in the hospital. He's dying, but you must know, Wilhelm, you can't trust him. You can't trust him. He did this.
Wilhelm shot Lincoln?
Well, no, I shot Lincoln, but because he was trying to kill me, but it wasn't Lincoln, it was Wilhelm. But I'll explain everything later. Answer me one question.
Yes?
Dorothy.
Yes.
Do you ever wear red nail polish?
Do I get to decide this?
Yes, you can decide.
I do, of course. Yes, it's it's quite the fashion.
Dorothy, I'm so sorry to tell you. Wilhelm, he made the fetter. And it was you.
But
you're the fetter. You're the thing tying him to this world. He got your fingernail clippings. He got your hair. You have dark hair, right? Dark brown, black.
Yes, but Wilhelm would not do this. That would be a violation. He would never do that to me.
Well, he's done it, sweetheart. I also never thought that he'd threaten me, and I never thought that he'd take over Lincoln's body and try to strangle me with it. But he did.
Desiree, you sound as though you are experiencing a lot of emotions, and so I need you to think carefully, and I need you to tell me how certain you are.
Dorothy, you told me once that you've had enough of men calling you crazy. Well, I don't want you calling me crazy either. I'm 100% certain. I've got the nail clipping right here. I think they took it into evidence, but if you look at it and it's the shade of your nail polish, then it was you. Wilhelm cannot be trusted. Come down here. Come down here to the station. Come get me. Come see if Lincoln is okay. Please.
Yes.
You and Father McClintock.
I will fetch the father, and yes, and I suppose you should probably think about why you had, what explanation you can give for having hair and nails in your pocket. But we will be there. We will come right away. Yes.
Oh, right.
You must be strong, Desiree. You must be. We will get through this. We have been through worse. We will get through this too.
That's right. We have been through worse. Thank you, Dorothy. I look forward to your appearance.
Yes, see you soon.
Ciao, darling.
Very good. So are Father McClintock and Dorothy going to visit either of their friends, or what is the next step? Desiree, you are being thrown into a cell to stay there.
And appropriating Italian despite hating Italians.
Oh, ciao. What can I say? They have some good lingo.
Have they put me in, the prison jumpsuit, or am I just in a holding tank?
You're just in the holding cell for right now.
Okay.
But it's your own cell because you possibly murdered somebody. Let's see how the doctors are doing with Lincoln in this emergency situation. For simplicity's sake, let's say that the train actually made it back to New York City.
We're not in Punxsutawney.
The doctors did an excellent job rolling a 4.
Oh.
So, Lincoln, you actually come to the next morning after Desiree has made this phone call. I want to know what Father McClintock and Dorothy want to do.
Well, part of that depends on what Dorothy is relaying to Father McClintock.
Basically, only the high-level stuff. Desiree has been taken into custody. Lincoln is in the hospital. Wilhelm was somehow involved. We need to go help them. It would be something along those lines with an urgency of let's go.
So she's not sharing that she is the fetter.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I think when you encounter Father McClintock, probably at the church, there's quite a lot of smoke in the air, and he's got a little iron brazier, and you can see that he's just finished up burning that book that Wilhelm had.
What? Why did you do this? This is answers for us.
We have got all the answers we need from it, Miss Larsen, and the information that's in there, if this is responsible for it, is too dangerous to ever fall into the hands of anyone else. The dangers there are just... Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
Yes, we must go. Lincoln has been hurt. He's in the hospital, and Miss Palmer is in custody. We must go. We must help them.
Yes, of course. We must visit Lincoln. Yes, of course.
Yes, and perhaps we can divide and conquer. If you want to see to Lincoln, and I can go retrieve our Miss Palmer.
Yes. I shall see to Lincoln.
Yes. Good. Okay.
Very well. Let us begin with Father McClintock talking to Lincoln.
Does Lincoln remember what happened after Wilhelm took over his body, or no?
Make a idea roll.
Okay. Failed 55 over 40.
Lincoln does not remember. And so Lincoln awakens in a hospital bed with a bunch of tape holding his chest together, and Father McClintock standing over him.
Oh, are you conscious?
He's just staring daggers at you.
I understand that you were shot. Can you remember what happened? We need to clear Desiree's name. You must understand that even if it was her, it wasn't her. It must have been Wilhelm in control. As much as I countenance telling the truth in all situations, sometimes we must lie for a greater good.
Yeah, you would believe that, wouldn't you? Tell me, we do need to clear her name, Father.
Yes.
Did you have sex with Desiree? At St. Bartholomew?
Why are you asking me this at St. Bartholomew's? I'm sorry, but where is this coming from, Lincoln?
Wilhelm showed me. He was with me when I was dreaming, just the way he knocked the ball out of Ricky's hands. He showed me you and Desiree.
You
on the altar? Disgusting.
You must understand. You must understand, Lincoln, that Wilhelm is becoming something very different. He is becoming something cruel and merciless, something manipulative. And we cannot trust the things he tells us. But at the same time, I cannot lie to you, Lincoln. Yes, I broke my vows with Desiree. I betrayed you. I betrayed your relationship with her. But Lincoln, you have to understand, Wilhelm is twisting things. He is trying to make things even worse than they appear. What I did was terrible. And I take full blame. I take full responsibility for that. But you have to understand that you cannot let him use that as a weapon to turn you against Desiree.
I imagine Lincoln falling out of the bed trying to grab the father at this point.
Yeah.
And he's just on the floor, like holding his disfigured face, looking up, going, It was after this? She was with you after this happened?
Lincoln, details like that aren't important. They aren't important.
Lincoln, make a Constitution roll, Lincoln.
Oh no, because I fell out of the bed?
Oh yeah.
Jeez. I failed, 95.
Lincoln, a bright bloom of red spreads across the bandages on your torso after you've fallen out of bed, and a bell starts to ring, and a nurse enters the room, and the nurse stands there watching both of you.
Help! He's bleeding.
The nurse looks at you. It's a woman in her mid-30s, with dark hair, big brown eyes, and she says, I have decided that I no longer need the four of you.
Oh, no.
You served your purpose while I was alive, but now you hinder me. You are like flies buzzing around my head, distracting me while I am trying to get good work done. I am going to free the people of Haiti and help the governor to make good decisions about the administration of this state and city. So, I wish you good luck. I want you to know that I love all of you, and this is goodbye forever. And the nurse walks out of the room while the bell continues to ring.
I'm at this stage, I'm ignoring the tail end of that and falling to my knees beside Lincoln and just grabbing whatever I can to try to staunch the bleeding, to try to stop.
Give me a first aid roll.
Okay. That is a success.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
You save Lincoln's life.
Oh, Lincoln.
You stabilize him.
Well, now I'm conflicted.
Good.
Meanwhile,
He's
Dorothy,
saved my life, but he boinked my girlfriend.
after many hours of waiting, you are allowed to have an interview with Desiree.
Are you all right?
Dorothy? Oh, I'm all right. They're treating me about as well as they'll treat any old murderer. Tell me, is Lincoln okay?
I am not sure. Father McClintock went to see Lincoln. I came directly here. They've kept me waiting. I'm sorry I was not able to come sooner.
So he's still alive? He's in the hospital? He's not in the morgue?
Oh, we must believe the best until we are given evidence of something else. So, yes, for all we know, he is alive.
Right. He's alive. If he wasn't alive, they'd be throwing me in high security for being a murderer. Oh, my poor Lincoln.
Oh, this is extenuating circumstances. I'm sure there was a good reason.
Oh, there was. The best reason of all. It was either him or me. He was trying to kill me. And I'll show her the bruises on my neck that are hand-shaped and, clearly from a strangling.
Championship ring.
Championship ring. Oh, there's an imprint of the championship ring on my jugular.
But Lincoln would never do that. He's such a softie. He's such a sweetheart. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, and he loves you very much. He would not hurt you.
It was Wilhelm. I had just confronted him. I had just disobeyed him. He didn't like that. And so he threatened me. And he said he was going to tell Lincoln. I mean, that he was going to take over Lincoln. And, but you know what I disobeyed him about? Is that I found something out. Look, Dorothy, and he told me not to tell you. He told me not to tell any of you, but I knew I had to tell you. And I think I slipped that little wax paper envelope into my pocket right where that journal, witch's journal, would be right next to it. And so I'm gonna slip it out unless they strip searched me and took all my belongings.
I wonder how well there's a skill called sleight of hand. I don't believe that you have any real skill in it. Yeah. I do love that idea. Why don't I say that you were searched? They did find all of these things. So what are you trying to give her exactly?
I want to give her that little wax envelope that I took of the nail clipping and the little bit of hair so she can see for herself if that's her nail polish and her hair. I think she would know best.
Okay. So if you don't mind, I think after you tell her that the police have it, and the detectives actually want to question briefly Miss Larsen to find out about the relationship between you and Lincoln. And so a little while later, Miss Larsen is sitting in an interview room, and one of the detectives pulls out a little envelope and pushes it toward Miss Larsen and says, "You have any idea why your friend may have been carrying this on her?" And they open it up and they pour out the contents, and you instantly recognize a piece of one of your fingernails among the detritus there. And now you recognize that this is your hair.
Jared, how many police officers are in the room interviewing?
Just two detectives.
I think she looks at one of the detectives and she says, "I might have some idea, but I wonder if I might have a glass of water before we continue."
Certainly. Yeah. And one of them motions at the other one to go get it.
Once the other police officer has left and there's just one, I think that she'll look directly at him and she'll say, "Wilhelm, I have some questions for you."
Yes. Dorothy, my love.
My God.
"Wilhelm, what is this?" She gestures towards the fingernail clippings and the hair. "What is this?"
You are my anchor. You are my reason for existing in this world. I made it so that I could never leave you and you could never leave me. And now I must keep you safe. The others don't matter. We can ignore them. Who cares what happens to them? But you and I have to stay together.
But why did you not just tell me? Why did you not? I thought that you had sacrificed yourself for me. I have grieved for you. You could have just...
You think that I haven't sacrificed? Do you know what it's like here? It's so dark and cold. But now I can take a body that is pleasing to you, something that excites you, a man or a woman. I don't judge. I don't know. I can take a body that you will be able to love. Does this man interest you? Is this a handsome man? What would you like? Tell me.
I would like for all of us to be together again. And
they have proven themselves untrustworthy. You and I will find a place to be alone, and then I can carry out my great work. I was talking to Governor Roosevelt last night, convincing him to pardon a prisoner who I think I have determined is quite innocent. Yes. Governor Roosevelt thinks that I'm an angel. He thinks that God is speaking to him. I have not disabused him of that notion.
It is a very clever ruse. All right, Wilhelm, if you can make sure that the others are safe and that they will remain unharmed, then I will go with you.
As long as they do not come for us, I will not punish. I will not.
Yes. I understand. Okay. I will say my goodbyes, and I will meet you.
Here's that drink of water.
Thank you.
The other cop comes back in, and both of them seem to be completely normal, and they set the drink of water in front of you.
My friend has the that disorder that makes people want to eat hair and nails. I forget the name. It is a real psychological thing. It is an actual thing. And this is why she carries this.
That is disgusting.
Pica, right? or Cthulhumania or something?
I'm telling you, these lounge acts, they all take drugs. They're narco fiends.
She is very talented and harmless when she is in the care of someone, and that is me. I have been derelict in my duties. I will take her, and I will.
No, I'm afraid not. No. Her arraignment is in a few days.
All right. Well, may I see her again?
I'm afraid not. No, that was your interview. Yeah.
All right. Well.
Thank you for your help, Miss Larsen.
Yes, it is. It's my pleasure. Okay. And I think that she'll. Oh, actually, may I give her? Will you give her a note for me? You may read it. It's fine. I will just write so that she may. Please.
Yeah, I'll write. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think that she writes down. She's got a note. Writes down. Don't worry. Take care of the others, and she'll hand it over.
All right. And you received this note, Desiree, and it strikes you as a little ironic to be told to take care of the others
when I am in prison.
You are in jail.
Well, by that she must mean when I get out. Oh gosh, I hope she hasn't done something drastic.
I believe that Lincoln, you are going to remain confined to a hospital bed. Desiree, I believe it's going to be a couple days before
my trial.
Yeah, your trial. So the only people with freedom of motion right now are Father McClintock and Dorothy. Dorothy, you have agreed to go away with Wilhelm. Father McClintock, you're the only one who is sort of free to take whatever action you choose right now. What do you think that you do?
What I think I'll do is I will go, first of all, to make a representation to the police that if they speak to Lincoln now, I'm sure that he will confirm that it wasn't Desiree who shot him.
All right, Father. I mean, she's as much as admitted it herself.
Well, I think you have to understand that there was a great deal of confusion about the situation, but now that Mr. Reeve has recovered his wits, then I think you have to be able to take his word for who it was who assaulted him.
We'll go and have a talk with him.
Would it be possible for me to talk to Miss Palmer?
I'm afraid that she's already had visitors. She didn't even ask for her lawyer.
But I'm her priest, and she at this time does need all the spiritual help she can receive. Surely.
All right, Father. Go and give her spiritual guidance. And they make you wait several hours, but then they let you in to speak to her.
Are we speaking privately?
Yes, more or less. Yes, she has a cell to her own, and the guards are nearby, but not listening in on every word.
Oh, Father, you're the first friendly face I've seen in days.
Oh, Miss Palmer, it's been such a trying time. I've spoken to Lincoln, and
How is he? Is he okay?
the doctors are doing good work, but I've spoken to him and convinced him that he should let the authorities know that it wasn't you who shot him. So I think
What?
if you substantiate that story.
Did you mean the hobo line? Well,
Miss Palmer, it's not the first time we've been complicit in a lie, is it?
no, I suppose not. We just trade one lie for another. I'm afraid I told Lincoln the truth, and he snapped. I don't think it was Lincoln. I think it was Wilhelm, but he surely was sore at me.
I'm glad that he knows the truth. I'm glad that he knows.
Because it was a mistake, Father. You and I both know that. I came to you for reassurance that my poor Lincoln, he'd been so shook up by his injury to his face, and I don't care a whit. I think it makes him look more rugged, but he's been so insecure. I came to you for reassurance, and well, God help me if we didn't feel that natural animal attraction between us. But it was a mistake.
I fear I have abused my authority and my position of trust terribly. But also I fear that the sins that we have committed, that I have committed, are nothing compared to what Wilhelm is doing now.
Well, what's he done?
He is beginning to take an interest in world affairs.
Oh, yeah, he kept talking about Haiti. But surely you and Dorothy have figured out how to break her from being his fetter, right?
In fact, Father McClintock, you would know exactly how, because you pushed that roll and you succeeded. So you know how the spell works. So you know that the way to break our friend Wilhelm away from the world is to destroy the fetter.
And I think when Desiree says that, you just see Father McClintock go ashen.
Well,
yes.
Well, you and
yes,
Dorothy,
of course.
you're the smart ones. You figured it out,
Yes.
right?
We have. Everything is in hand, Miss Palmer. Everything is in hand.
All right. That's great. I sure was upset when I found out that Wilhelm made our poor Dorothy his fetter, but but I knew that you'd figure it out. You two are the
Yes.
brains of the operation.
Yes, I believe I know how to free her.
Oh, that's swell. That's swell. Seems like everything just might be okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
Thank you. You truly are a blessed man.
And so, what happens next? Dorothy, are you waiting to meet your friend Wilhelm?
I think that she will go up to the cabin. She'll start making her way up to the cabin in the Adirondacks, her special cabin.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that she'll try to call him back to her. Like she'll.
Oh, it
Wilhelm-
happens just like it did in the police station. She is traveling by train, and a beautiful woman sits down beside her and says, "Is this form pleasing to you? Is this body pleasing to you?"
It's lovely. Yes. Yes. But
We are going to your cabin, I assume.
yes.
Good place to hide for now. Yes.
Yes.
You have a radio there, yes?
Yes.
Good. I wish to hear the results of my work.
I am also eager to hear. I think that while she's talking to Wilhelm, she's sliding her hand into her pocket to retrieve her treasured possession, which is a metal rod, possibly an alien artifact, and she takes it out of her pocket really quickly and she clangs it against the side, like basically like the armrest of the chair to cause it to vibrate.
The woman goes, "Well, you must make a POW roll for me."
I'm gonna do that right now. I kind of want it. So I rolled a 28. That is a success. Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna spend some luck to make that an extreme success.
I'll allow it.
Let's do it. I like the gesture. Yeah.
Ah! The woman screams like that, and then suddenly she goes, "Who are you? Where am I?
Oh, you're on the train. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to startle you.
Who are you?
I am no one of consequence, but
Oh my god! Oh my god!
very distressing.
I'm on a train."
You are on a train. But please, I must ask you to look away now.
She gets up and runs out of the car.
Right. So that technically should have warded off Wilhelm temporarily. And so in his absence and his inability to control her, she will then reach back into her pocket and pull out her pistol. And she will, knowing that she couldn't have any of her friends take on the responsibility or have to deal with the guilt, she'll swallow her gun.
Another train heads north through the forests of New York, and another gunshot rings out. When Father McClintock is waiting at the next station, he sees once again a bunch of policemen and medical workers run onto the train, and I think it's reasonable to assume Father McClintock fears the worst.
But on the other hand, there is a wave of relief that goes through him because he was he'd spent the last several hours wondering whether he had the strength to kill Dorothy himself.
What did he have in it? Does he have a weapon?
He was going to beat her to death with his crucifix.
Oh my God.
The crucifix weighs in your pocket as you see them pull the body of Dorothy Larsen off the train.
At some point after all the official bits have happened, Father McClintock would like to see whether he can spend some private time with Dorothy's body to basically perform the last rites. It's a bit late, but he's counting on the fact that they may not realize that.
Very good. That happens. You are able to get alone with the body, but you're kind of technically not supposed to be here. You're in the morgue of a nearby hospital where they took her off the train. You've kind of used your position as a priest to kind of sneak in, and you are standing beside her body.
Oh, Miss Larsen, I really wish things had ended better than this for you. You deserved so much better than to be used by that man. But I fear that his grip on you may not have ended yet. You are his tether, but I do not remember anything in that spell that said you had to be alive to be his tether.
Dorothy Larsen's eyes open. Make a sanity roll.
No.
I was about to prepare for this, but we'll see how this goes. Oh shit, that is not good. Okay, no, I have failed that.
All right, here we go.
Oh boy.
4 sanity loss. Plus 1 is 5. You must make your intelligence roll.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty damn smart. And I've rolled a 0-5.
Oh,
this
nice.
You succeed, and that means that we have to roll on the table.
Are you open to another possibility?
Yes, you may decide. Yes, you may. Yes.
Wait, this is a morgue. There has to be some sharp instruments or something around.
Oh, yes. Openly available.
And I'm just open to the idea, if you are, of the authorities and the morgue attendants or whoever running in a short while later, finding Father McClintock there, just repeatedly taking a scalpel or something and stabbing the corpse over and over again, screeching in liturgical Latin, something incoherent.
Very good. Yes, the authorities run in, and Father McClintock, spattered in blood, is just stabbing the corpse over and over with a scalpel. And he's already stuck scissors in it and a bone saw, and he's just stabbing it over and over. As they pull Father McClintock off of the body, Dorothy Larsen's face smiles. And that is where we will end the scenario.